Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. 21st, Monday. Market actually relatively, well, I don't even want to say relatively, much more active than I thought it would be. I'd like to just go into the charts, but I'm having some issues here. And it might have to restart NinjaTrader here. But the basic gist of it is that things were going pretty okay until the Europeans got started, and it seems like the Europeans are still concerned about the coronavirus wave in England and winter concerns overall in Europe, and that is leading to some of the bearishness that we're seeing, and it's pretty ugly. We're at 32.50 right now. Okay, I'm going to try, it's like NinjaTrader started and the license didn't work. So I think you need to. I don't know why it would. I think I just need to restart Ninja. Hopefully that didn't screw it up. Sunday Driver says he's on Team Market Crash. I don't know. I mean, I still kind of suspect that today could be a day where we get a bit of a pullback. But here's the thing. On Friday looked to me to be just, why does it keep doing that? That's annoying AF. Okay. Friday, I think that the move down on Friday had more to do with options positioning and gamma and so forth than it did anything else more fundamental. So I'm personally not too concerned about the selling that we saw on Friday. But if it continues through today, why is it telling me that I don't have a lifetime license all of a sudden? That's not good. Something's wrong. Will it even let me? Well. Okay, we do have Chicago Fed National Activity Index coming up here. Want an idea about gold? I'm super confused and disappointed at the moment. So it's telling me it's didn't like my license and it's not showing me the volume profiles. I guess not that they're huge still. You can see there the E-mini dropping out. Bearish. National Activity Index coming in at 0.79 versus 1.95. Spreads appear to be flattening still. Gold taking a dive. 1950. Still within the range though. It kind of seems so. Again, it seems to me that gold was moving up on the reflation trade, and not on like a. I think a lot of people were trading gold because like flight to safety, but here you're seeing why again, as I've said over like almost every day for the past 6 months, that gold at the moment is more of a risk asset than it is anything else. And so when we go down, gold often gets pummeled as well. Copper not taking as big of a hit as the others. So this is where we're kind of, maybe what's going on right now is not like the end of the world. But here we're continuing on the daily. I mean, on the daily chart, the technicals just look awful, right? It's not uncommon to lose that and then come back up and touch that 50-day moving average a bunch of times. But yeah, I don't know, guys. So you get days like these, right? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, and then they save it. Bounce, bounce. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, and then he was saying that dollar is really strong right now. I don't think that completely explains it though, Sunday, because the dollar has been in 93. I mean, there was dollar strength coming in for a really long time, and gold didn't necessarily react. And we're at 93, which is still like the bottom of it. But it is kind of still, it is saying the same thing, right? The reason that gold was moving up was because of the reflation trade, which was creating dollar weakness. Dollar down, gold up. But now people are scared and the reflation trade is unwinding a little bit, which is creating dollar strength and gold down. So when I do that, does it just straight up kick me out? Take the indicator off, or what does it do? No, it leaves it on there, but it just whines. They must have changed something. So I was using a developer license, and yeah. Well, it lets me place orders. Trying to think about what else I can do here. Let's see if there's any weird log messages. Interesting. Is that place you want to live in New York called Jersey City now? Well, it was part of Jersey City, but it was a smaller borough. And I wasn't saying that's where I wanted to live. That's just where everybody was telling me to live. Well, looking at our positioning and everything, they are very, very, very short. Probably a good chance of a pullback up to at least 32.75, but I'm feeling like really risk averse this morning. Good morning, Gary. Burrow, like Burough, I think is how you spell it. I remember people telling me, like, later on, it's like, oh yeah, all my friends lived over here. And later on, people were like, oh, that's like super expensive. Newport. Do you know if the Jigsaw day trader charting on now also works with rhythmic feed? It does. Well, I tell you what, I'm a little like I kind of want to ditch Ninja Trader, but I don't know what to do. So there's these parts that I feel like I need. I'm literally gonna have to like make my own platform at some point.
Sunday Driver says today is the day to lay it all on the line and make a high-risk, high-reward trade. Just to see what happens.
Oh, thanks.
Guido Sledden says, could you also code and see the Jigsaw package?
I wish I could, but I don't have access. They don't have anything that allows
Salim
you
L.
to write
Weathering
your own
says
stuff.
is closer to Manhattan than Manhattan. Gary Rich says, I don't like to be a bearer of bad news. I'm an optimistic bear and a cautious bull. October VIX is tight to November. It may go backwardated, maybe. Guido Sledden says THNXS.
I think that the November VIX's options should be higher than they are. I think they're starting to price it in, but it's still not very strong. Otherwise, you're going to get this thing where they
Baron
really
Cosgan
is
says
too
dollar
tight.
strength seems illusional when USDJPY has been so weak.
Well, yeah. So, Baron, that's a good observation. So, overall, the entire
Salim L. Weathering says Sierra.
Yeah. Overall, the entire complex is dollar strength, except for the Japanese yen. Now, I'm not 100% sure what is causing that flip. It may be that Japan has weathered the coronavirus so well that some money is thinking that they would rather go there as a flight to safety rather than the dollar. But ultimately, the issue is that the dollar is the euro is so much more influential over that, right? That the euro is just killing it. So, I wouldn't say dollar strength seems illusional per se, but it's just you can see where the money is coming from, right? The Europeans and the guys in the UK in particular are selling it and putting it over in dollars. and buying treasuries with it, apparently. We can see treasuries up quite a bit. Of course, it's just a spike. They haven't broken this range that we've been in forever in the treasuries.
Gary Rich says I'm looking at the VIX curve structure. All the news on the election is the wild card.
Yeah, but isn't there there's a possibility that election uncertainty goes all the way through to like December 8th. So why isn't November higher than it is? Why do you want to ditch Ninja? Well, I think that it's mostly just that I want to be on one platform. And I feel like that Jigsaw is a better and more reliable platform. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that Jigsaw's charts are all that special. So... But the thing is I've written this cost basis indicator in Ninja, and I find it incredibly useful. And I really don't want to move over to Jigsaw where I don't have that unless I can program it. And right now you can't program for their charts, and I'm not just gonna give it to them. I think it's valuable. I want to keep it for myself. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to do. It's other than like get access to the Rhythmic API and start writing something myself. I suppose that we're getting into a spot where we can potentially do that.
Gary Rich says it can only go so high. I don't price the VIX, I analyze it. Supreme Court pick is making both sides skittish.
I just think it should be as high as October is, that's all.
Winston's mom says good morning, speculator Seth. Good morning, day traders. Hi, Salim L. Wuthering. I liked your shadow boxing video. Uzi Knesset says good morrow.
What will markets do if Biden crushes Trump in debates? If Biden did win a debate, I think that markets would very much sell off. Yes. Good morning, Uzi.
Uzi Knesset says that's all I get. Uzi Knesset says tongue out.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to segue into this Supreme Court pick thing. So here's the issue with this Supreme Court pick. I can tell you a couple of things that I'm pretty certain are going to happen. Oh, Trump's saying something. Anyways, so Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, in case you've been living under a rock. And so here's a couple of things that I think will likely to happen. First thing is that Donald Trump will absolutely, without question, put forth the nomination. That's why he was put in office. That's why the conservatives voted for him. If he were to get 3, they would just be super ecstatic. He's absolutely going to do it. Number 2, the Republican Senate will bring it to a vote before the election. No question about it. Mostly because Mitch McConnell has said that he will. But also, I think that conservatives are really, really concerned about what happens if we have a really close election with a lot of legal challenges, and there's 8 people in the Supreme Court. So they really want an odd number of justices in the court so that there's no way that there can be a split. Because if there's a split, then what do? You have a constitutional crisis at that point. You've finally reached a spot where the Constitution doesn't really have a good plan on what we do, and we're stuck. So I'm pretty sure that the Republicans will at least bring it up for a vote. Now, will they actually get it? Well, there's already been 2 have said that they won't. They're still talking about this white dance still, which I just don't care about right now. Little squawk. So, Collins and Morawski have already said that they're a no. And honestly, for their re-election prospects, they really don't have any choice. There's no way, I don't think there's any way that they get elected if they voted yes for those 2. Although, honestly, I'm starting to think that they're both lost causes at this point. Senate Republicans are in a tight re-election campaign. In fact, let's come in and look at some of the polling. I am pretty sure that both of those are a lost cause. Election Senate map. Okay, and Collins, and where's the Alaska one? Sullivan versus Gross. Oh, Morawski isn't up for a re-election, is she? Oh, neither of them up. Cotton, Cassidy, Inaho. I don't know how to say that. I think it's Inaho. Capito, open rounds, SAS. ID. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, these are safe races. View full race change map, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not it either. So there's like this one where the gardener is almost certain to okay. Hickenlooper is almost certain to beat Gardner, I believe. Collins. Okay, so here in this one, like a Quinnipiac, I don't know. Quinnipiac isn't necessarily the most reliable poll, but like there's some polling over there in Maine showing that Collins is pretty much screwed, right? I really thought that Morawski, sorry, let's Murkowski, Lisa Murkowski, Senator RAK, yeah. I guess that one is not actually open this time around. Who's the third no? No, Romney did not say he would vote no to proceed. Maybe he said vote no for. Let's see. News. The last thing that I read was he was not an automatic no. Blah blah blah. Joe Biden might consider Mitt Romney as Secretary of State. Great. Okay, well, let's read the Politico article about this. And Mitt Romney, yeah. So Collins, Murkowski, and Romney are definitely the three that would say no. Collins, Romney. Where did they talk about Romney? Then there's Romney. His spokesperson pushed back against a rumor Friday that the senator would oppose seating a new Supreme Court justice before the inauguration in January. Romney's statement on Ginsburg's passing did not hint at his thinking on the possible confirmation fight. Okay, so I'm going to rate what Gary said their faults. So, as far as we know, so this is where I'm getting at. Like Collins and Murkowski, I think have to say no to get reelected. There's a possibility that one of them would flip to a yes in the most dire of circumstances and become the sacrificial lamb. No joke. Because so here's the thing. Just taking this from a Republican perspective of this, okay? Saying not automatic no means no. These politicians are measured. They always flip-flopping. I don't know if that's true, Gary. Can't say. But here's the thing. Republicans think that the entire Democrat, what do we call it? Agenda. Republicans believe that the entire Democrat agenda is unconstitutional. Okay. So having the Supreme Court on their side, I guess you could say, is pretty important to them. And you got to remember that Collins and Murkowski are still Republicans. And there's a certain point at which they say that it's more important that I get X thing than it is that I get reelected, especially if they believe that they're not going to get reelected anyways, right? So, for instance, if you're Collins right now, remember she was one of the key swing votes on Kavanaugh, right? As soon as she came in and she said, "No, I'm going to vote yes to confirm him," and laid out her logic, which, by the way, was one of the best political speeches I've ever heard in my life. That was it. That was the end of it. She single-handedly won that issue for the Republicans. Would she come in again and do it again and fall on her sword? I think she absolutely would. So even though she's saying that she's going to be a no, if Mitt Romney came in and Mitt Romney was going to be a jerk, then maybe Collins would fall on her sword. But I actually don't think that Mitt Romney is going to do it. Here's the thing. Everything that I see Mitt Romney do seems calculated against Donald Trump to me. But he's going to be on this same side that, like, the Supreme Court is really, really critical and important, especially given his religious views and so forth. So I do not believe that Romney is going to vote no. So, and here's another point that I will make is that they have nominated and passed Supreme Court justices before an election multiple times. I think that there's actually been something like 14 or something like that. It's just the case that they were making when they denied Obama's was when the Senate didn't, when the president didn't have a majority in the Senate, right? This is where it's different. Now there's this argument that was being made and that people are arguing about whether it's hypocritical or not over, whether they should, how to put it, basically the Republicans said that we're not going to confirm a Supreme Court justice. We're going to let the election decide it. And so now everybody's saying, well, that should always be the case. But then back then, Obama and all these other guys were saying that we should. But the difference now is that who is control of the Senate? Is it the president's party or not? And so I think the reality of it is that it's whoever is in power. And honestly, from the perspective of the Republicans, if you start giving up power just to be nice, then you know that the other party will roll over you. So Republicans really don't have a choice other than to go forward with it. But then the question becomes, what kind of an impact will this have on the election? Well, it's an issue that could energize a lot of people, right? You might be thinking, okay, this might change the vote turnout. Probably, sure. But would it change the vote turnout more if it was still open? You know what I mean? So now it turns in, if they don't confirm a Supreme Court justice, then the winner of the election doesn't just get the presidency, but also gets the Supreme Court for a generation or whatever it is. And remember that the Republicans have 2 really old justices too. So if Donald Trump lost, it would be really ugly. And what we thought could be a conservative Supreme Court for a really long time might not end up being that. Right? So the Republican calculus is almost in every instance that they should do it and confirm somebody. Right? And just to reiterate because I know I spent a lot of time kind of pulling that out, but essentially they don't want to have they need a tiebreaker, and it'll be close, but they can still give their vulnerable incumbents cover. There's long-term incentives to do it because they kind of need to keep the seat, and it might actually drive more Democrat turnout if they leave it open than if they don't. So I am pretty confident that the Republicans are at the very least going to try to push it through, and it'll probably be very close. But I'm, and this is a hyper speculative, but I think that they're going to do it. I think that they're going to confirm the Supreme Court justice. Almost the primary reason, like the reasoning that's going to be used the most, that you're going to hear the most, is that we can't have a 4-4 Supreme Court going into a possibly contested election. Okay. So, is there an impact on the market from it? When you go with what I just said, I think no. I think it'll come out. The Republicans are going to do it, and then what happens in terms of like the turnout on election day. Look at how hyperbolic the country will get if they push a Supreme Court candidate now. Look what happened to Kavanaugh. Sure, but they'll still do it. I mean, here again is where I would say that what they're doing is not actually that unprecedented. The only thing that's really unprecedented is how big of a stink Democrats are putting up about, like, literally everything. Now, there's something else that we have to look into, though, because hold on. It's trying to switch over to my other computer. I keep seeing this story about, oh, we can do impeachment. We have our options. Okay, during a lame duck session is another issue. Like, why would you leave it to a lame duck, though? Like, here again, I'm saying I actually think that it's a bigger driver. By the way, there was also polling, believe it or not. There was actually significant polling saying that the Republicans should do it. Across the board, people saying that Republicans should do it. So I don't think that the hypocrisy argument is really, like, it's great for like the partisan battle and everything, but I don't think it's actually affecting swaying voters on anything. Yeah, I don't understand this one. Pelosi saying that they should do impeachment is like, I don't get that one at all. How would that stop them? I don't get that one. Now, who they select is also really, really important. They better pick somebody correctly. And it probably would be Barrett, but another thing that might play into this, I know might sound a little silly to some of you, but it absolutely will play a factor, is that Lindsey Graham is still pissed about the Kavanaugh thing. So I think that normally Lindsey Graham might have been a little cautious about this, but he's going to be full speed ahead, and he's going to ram it through in the Judiciary Committee, probably. So I think that can be a significant factor. Country is like a tinderbox right now. The left are acting nuts. More chaos to get Trump out of office is BS to me. Yeah, but you know what? I really, this is where the thing is that, like, number one, social media kind of pushes people towards radical ideas and acting out. But then the social media also pushes us towards thinking that the acting out is more significant and widespread than it really is. Just as an example, if you look at Portland was an absolute disaster. They were attacking the courthouse and everything else, and it seems like, and don't get me wrong, what was going on in Portland was absolutely just not okay. But if you were to go down into Portland and you're walking around the city, everywhere outside of that one block where they were protesting at the courthouse, it's quiet and nothing's really happening. So it's not like there's some full-blown revolution out there. I guess the thing is that if you were living in Portland, you probably wouldn't think that it's as big of a deal as social media would lead you to believe. And so it's the same thing with everything else. You get a lot of people talk a really big game, and then, like, nothing freaking happens. Remember when they were complaining about if Donald Trump were to remove Mueller from the Mueller investigation, or if people got fired or whatever, and then nothing ever happened, and they were planning protests, and then they had the protests over some other guy getting canned. So they activated the protests, and so all of these people protested, and like nobody showed up. You remember that? That was like a huge big deal. Nothing happened from it. You see a lot of that. As much as the social media drives people, you got to remember that people are pretty fickle. So I was watching the documentary on Netflix about this. What is it? The social media dilemma. And while I thought that it was a really good documentary, and they pointed out a lot of things about how social media works that people don't realize, like that they're literally training machine learning algorithms to your behavior. Okay. But the thing that bothered me about it was that they said that it was basically we were at the mercy of Google. That was their argument in that documentary was they were saying basically either Google changes this and makes Google and Facebook change this and make the algorithm better for us, or we just don't stand a chance. And I just don't agree with that. I think that social media only has as much power as you give it over you. And that the more people understand what's actually going on, the less sway we'll actually have. And that one of the key issues that we have right now is that a large portion of the populace just goes into it willy-nilly and doesn't understand the power structures and the algorithms and stuff behind all of this stuff. They're just completely ignorant of it. That won't be like that in a generation, you know? People will be just as suspicious of social media as they are government, if not more so. Mm-mm. If you've been around radicals or cities, yes. I have a lot of them, to be honest with you. All of those raver guys went far left. And they had a big riot down in Salt Lake City, and they turned over a cop car and everything else. And there's a liberal contingent in Salt Lake City, believe it or not. It's actually quite strong. And the only reason that you're not hearing about it in Utah is that Utah had a good governor that called in the National Guard from day one and put a stop to it. Otherwise, we would probably be going on and on and on, just like Portland. I understand that the reason why things are going the way they are in Portland is because the mayor and the governor allow it, and nobody else has. Especially when you're arresting the people and then not charging them. Like, what? Because here in Utah, it's like the people that committed vandalism and stuff are looking at really long sentences. Like cruel and excessive sentences, possibly. I don't think that they'll actually go for the max, but they could go for the max, and it could put them in prison for life for putting graffiti on the police station. Like, yeah. Guard, we are tentative to the euro's appreciation. They just keep talking about the euro. The problem is I don't think that there's a whole lot the European Central Bank can do about it. I mean, I suppose that they could do stuff, but they wouldn't. So the alternative would not be very attractive. They have pulled back a bit. They're still kind of in this spot.
Salim L. Wuthering says I don't know why I keep tuning into Seth every time. I think it's his voice. He would be a good news presenter. Now I realize how I get my
Maybe.
news feed. Is from him.
I really don't think that my voice is all that amazing, but I think the microphone and the compressor does a lot more for your voice than you realize. And part of what I'm trying to teach you is that you want to try and be as informed or more than me on these news events, right?
Gary Rich says yes. Utah has a decent governor who enforces the law, unlike our governor who emboldens the radical side. Parts of CA are becoming actual and literal shitholes.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing that's really an issue over there in California, in my opinion, is that you have this group of people in Silicon Valley primarily that are just making so much money and are really, really doing well. And because they're doing so well, they are pushing up the price of everything for everyone else. So you have this huge, housing crisis and everything else. And basically, the people that would have to fix it are completely insulated from the problem, right? These liberals, they're what they're told is, we need to be super nice to the homeless people and give them needles and stuff. So they go and they do it. And then they don't actually have to go and walk in the streets and see the results of their policies and see how disastrous they are. So, yep. Some parts of California are really falling apart, and it's just, a lot of it has to do with who you elect, but a lot of it is also just that I believe the culture in California has fallen apart at a fundamental level, like to the point where they really cannot sustain a society on their own, If California were to become its own country and split off and everything, that I don't think that they would last more than 20 years right now. Of course, probably they're going to have to change. Probably a couple of these things that they believe that are just so crazy and ineffective, they're going to have to realize are bad ideas. But how long will it take for them to figure it out? So people are already leaving California in droves. I was able to find a Canon SL3 Elgato Man, finding a cam link is hard. Yeah, that's impressive. By the way, we have a lot of bill auctions today. Didn't notice that until now. Still 15 minutes to the open. I've been talking a lot. Treasuries have barely moved. You see that? One tick up. E-mini is moving around, but not a ton. I guess it's up. You could maybe have gotten 10 points from it.
Winston's mom says I have read that California could split into 3 states. The Cal 3 plan would divide the state's 58 counties among 3 states, tentatively named California, nicknamed Cal. Winston's mom says Northern California, nicknamed NorCal, and Southern California, nicknamed SoCal.
Yeah, but the thing is, they've been talking about doing that since the 50s. I think that there was a serious initiative to split California up, and then World War II happened, and that didn't. I think that was what the deal was. There's always been talk about it, but it just doesn't seem serious, and especially if it would affect the Democrats' position in Congress. This is a real issue. There are some states that probably should split up. New York should probably get split up too, to be honest. And Texas should probably get split up. Can you believe I'm saying something so crazy? But Texas should probably get split up.
RJ Wheels says Texas has the right to split into 6 states.
6?
Gary Rich says I drive around my city and wonder if my car will catch AIDS or get a drug overdose. It's getting bad here.
I haven't driven around anywhere for months. So maybe my own city is getting worse, and I just haven't realized it because I haven't been downtown for such a long time. Whoa, Microsoft agrees to buy Elder Scrolls game maker ZeniMax for $7.5 billion. Like, will they still be able to make it? Because doesn't Bethesda own the publishing rights? And that would be so confusing. What's going on? I have to look on Reddit about that. That's kind of weird. Microsoft buying stuff. There are many reasons why California is falling apart, I'm sure. Okay, so they all had the rumors out before it happened. So I'm already realizing one big reason why they must be doing this is because that would mean that Elder Scrolls and so forth could be Xbox exclusives. I'd take Microsoft's upper management over ZeniMax's any day. Oh, okay. So they're all kind of don't like ZeniMax anyways. That's funny. Is there a developer these days that gamers don't hate? Okay, so that's in PC gaming. Oh, they're publishing 2 PS5 exclusives? Oh, that's funny.
Dan H says anyone going to buy the PS5?
I don't know. So here's the problem with the PS5, as I understand it, is that they're not going to have enough of them. And the games are going to be really expensive too. So unless they have a really amazing game at launch, I actually suspect that the console won't do as well as they might hope. Especially if we continue to have this noise. I guess that's a year away though, right? And then let's see the Microsoft guys. What do they think? Oh, they bought it for $7.5 billion, 6 times more than what Microsoft bought Minecraft for. Whoa, dude! I love it when people come find those sorts of things. Which new gaming system should I buy? Buy a PC. Go buy a 3080. Go buy a GeForce 3080. That's what you should get for gaming. Here's the problem. So first of all, the PlayStation games are going to be really expensive. There's not going to be enough of them. And I don't see like a flagship game. Like, what is the game that's going to make it so that you absolutely want to have a PlayStation or an Xbox? I don't see it yet. Meanwhile, NVIDIA has released this 3080 that is just going to absolutely destroy anything that they put on the consoles. So the consoles, they're going to have their stuff, and over here, the PCs are going to have like graphics that are 2-3 times better. And I mean, like, you have to understand that the the graphical improvement that they're talking about making in this next generation is so crazy that they've basically got the number of polygons that you're rendering, like the size of the polygon is 1 pixel of your screen. So essentially the geometric complexity that they can do now is there's no reason to create more geometric complexity to it, essentially. And they now have all of these algorithms to kind of so you can have a really, really complicated structure, and it simplifies it down until it gets really close. All of those sorts of things, and they can stream the data directly from your SSD over to your video card. So you can have incredibly large, detailed environments, and you can move around them basically real time. Yeah. So the change that you're going to see in PC gaming is going to be so dramatic. Now, PlayStations are going to be able to have some of that, but if Sony and Microsoft don't play it right, it could be really bad for them. I'm not saying that that's like the most likely case. It's just that there's a kind of a really interesting setup where the consoles could get really screwed over. So, FIFA 21. Oh, I don't know if that would be the game that would, I guess especially for you guys in Europe, because that is really, really popular. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Microsoft is making those kinds of moves. It must have been like, well, we didn't get TikTok. I guess we should do this one. Well,
Why Trader says yeah, it is the must-to-have game.
if all of the ZeniMax games went to Xbox exclusive, that would be crazy. But they already have agreements that they're going to have to, that they're going to have to hold. Don't see it. I'm going to try restarting Ninja Trader here again, all right? I just want to make sure that this license thing is like not a fluke of some sort.
Uzi Knesset says I guess now that RGB is gone, the focus is taken off passing another COVID relief bill, so there's some upside for both sides, I guess.
I mean, man, the relief bill thing is so
Vlad Stolyarov
crazy.
says Europe down -3% plus.
I mean, it may end up being a really significant failure on Congress's part, But I blame Nancy. I think Nancy is just crazy about this. You would think that they would at least pass the skinny bill and let the other stuff. Nope. It's like they want you to feel the pain.
Vlad Stolyarov says new lockdown fears.
Yeah, it's definitely the lockdown in the UK in particular that they're freaking out about, I think. It's going to come up here. It's going to give me like 1 trillion error messages.
Uzi Knesset says they're still doing those? Lol. RJ Wheels says the Democrats should have pulled a weekend at
Yeah.
Bernie's move with RBG Till after election.
Who knows? How do you know that they weren't doing that already? Grrr. Did not do anything. Why?
Let's not make this personal, says LMAO.
It's very interesting. Well. I mean, the thing is that all of those, the things that are complaining and it's not letting me run, it's fine because I have equivalents that I've written, that work just as well. But it just bothers me, you know. The part of it was that I was able to do some development with it. I don't know. I guess the development with those particular indicators didn't really go anywhere anyways because Ninja Trader doesn't really give you access to this stuff, so it kind of doesn't help. Maybe it's time for me to dust off my footprint chart. It's just like all of the sudden the license that I have doesn't work for the order flow plus stuff anymore. So I don't know if they changed something or what. What did I do wrong? So going back to the earlier discussion about Ninja Trader, there was something that I didn't bring up that's really important in this, and that is that Ninja Trader is pushing everybody into the Ninja Trader brokerage, and it's kind of turning into that you can't use
Uzi
Ninja
Knesset
Trader
says,
without
that happens to me sometimes, particularly after doing a Windows update.
where it doesn't like your license. I don't know what the deal is.
Uzi Knesset says, yay.
And it just magically goes away after a while, or what? I don't think I've done a Windows update, though. Maybe I have. Okay, well, here comes the open. Are you gonna sell?
Vlad Stolyarov says,
Okay.
opening bell.
A little bit of a sell on the open. Yep, there you go. It's not huge, but it is a sell.
Sunday Driver says collision.
Uzi Knesset says, well, what happens is my network connections get limited for some dopey reason. I'm still on Vista, but I have to disable and re-enable my network adapter to fix it.
Dang it.
Uzi Knesset says, yeah, it's weird.
Well, I got screwed that time, didn't I? I don't know if I want to play now.
Vlad Stolyarov says, I don't want to get REKD.
Yeah, well, I was buying up at the top. I was expecting like a sweep through that didn't really happen, so I have only myself to blame for that one.
Live Action says European Open was the better sell. Vlad Stolyarov says wait for my normal operating times 10 a.m. 11 a.m.
I know, I was trying to buy it.
Winston's mom says RJ Wheel ROFL. No disrespect to the herself, but that idea is hilarious. I wonder if we could sell your idea to some late night show or SNL. Kevin Wimmer says I wonder how many longs got screwed over the weekend. Like 60 points lower than Friday close.
I don't know. It's a good question. I would hope that not a lot of people were holding into the weekend, but
Vlad Stolyarov says 3,260 to hold now.
well, it sure is all over the place at the moment. They just don't like me today.
Winston's mom says, clip that's a good question. For the comments when you upload, speculator Seth. Kevin Wimmer I wonder how many longs got screwed over the weekend. Like 60 points lower than Friday close?
Yeah.
Vlad Stolyarov says if something leads up that would be NQ.
It went, and I just couldn't catch anything in that. That was a disaster.
Vlad Stolyarov says see whipsaw again. Uzi Knesset says I notice the buyer's break-even is above the seller's cost basis in ZB. That's a new one.
Oh, is it? Oh, you're right. You're right. I am getting that same thing. I don't know. I've seen that once
Winston's
before,
mom
but
says MarketWatch, Microsoft to buy Bethesda software parent for $7.5 billion in big bet on gaming.
yeah, there's that
Kevin
same
Wimmer
news.
says maybe they will go for the overnight low at 47.
Well,
Uzi Knesset says I wonder IG that means buyers gonna fight extra hard now. Vlad Stolyarov says the NQ can break low and travel 200 points lower. I don't gamble in morning for long.
they're buying that dip. I don't know.
Baron Glass says Trevor Milton resigned from Nikola.
What? Interesting. Going for a
Winston's
little
mom
bit
says
more.
bank stocks took a broad hit in pre-market trading Monday, after reports were published alleging many major banks continued doing business with customers despite suspecting money laundering activities. Live Action says tick was minus 1,600. Wow. Vlad Stolyarov says they told us buy dip stocks only go up.
Well, there's a new low. I don't know. It's still a little questionable how much they can really get out of this short, though.
Vlad Stolyarov says banks can get sued. That's the issue this morning.
I'm doing it again at 45. That's a lot of volume to see at an absolute low. Oh, they are so far below the moving average, too.
Vlad Stolyarov says more of a short lull. Vlad Stolyarov says can't trust rally.
I don't think you can trust any of this.
Live Action says going long here gambling.
Yeah. It's definitely gambling.
Vlad Stolyarov says 93.480.60% DXY index up. Vlad Stolyarov says I don't play till 10 a.m. Kevin Wimmer says hope this Igor guy from your Discord cut his losses lol. Was 5 lots long from 3,308.
Oh, really? I don't know. He'll swing something for a long
Vlad
time.
Stolyarov says AMD up.
Was that from last Friday or was that this morning?
Kevin Wimmer says this morning he wrote it. Like 4 to 5 hours before London Open.
Could well, I don't know. I don't know how big of a drawdown he would take. If it was Chewy, I would think he'd still be in
Vlad
it.
Stolyarov says AAPL some strength.
No, actually, I think Chewy normally doesn't hold something that long. It was just that one that he was trying to swing. Okay. Well. Things have definitely cooled off here, but they're still pushing those lows. Yeah.
Vlad Stolyarov says I don't like to be long with bag holders here.
Well, now what can you do? How far
Vlad Stolyarov
can
says
this
it's trying
go?
to break down NQ again. Vlad Stolyarov says broken low NQ.
$32.
Vlad Stolyarov says we'll probably chop ideally. Vlad Stolyarov says banks actually going up to gap fill interesting.
Really? Man. Mm-hmm. It was a good 7,000 contract short here on the open, actually. I don't know, guys. It's like really excessive. And when they get back above 53, start getting the clicking and drama. Ah. A lot of short covering on that one, huh? Now they finally
Brad Stolarov
touched.
says NQ being dumb again.
They finally touched the 10-minute moving average. Can you believe that? They finally crossed the 10-minute moving average. Let's see here. So if we zoom in, I got
Uzi Knesset says ZB gonna test heavy nuts at 05 again.
So 47.75 is the short's average position here. So if they are able to push, back up into the 32.50, then I think that we could have a really good setup for a flip all the way back up into the 60s. But obviously they're going to fight it, right? And they're trading pretty large amounts here in the E-mini.
Winston's mom says how was himself, the baby Asher's weekend. Did he do anything that was not absolutely adorable? Lol.
No. Well, he threw up a lot. He was always throwing up a lot. I don't really consider that adorable. He's particularly cute. I feel he is particularly cute.
Mahdi El Mesaudi says how large are the amounts?
Well, they're trading like 500s at some prices. Not quite to 1,000s, but there was some thousands much higher up. Okay, yeah, this is going to flip all the way back. I suspect. How many did I take on that? Okay.
Uzi Knesset says 05 say no again.
We're in ZB.
Winston's mom says throwing up is not cute. My son threw up a lot until my mother told us to stop tossing him up in the air while we played with him. We always caught him.
That is what it's like. I'm noticing that, like, if I'm just really gentle and just then he's fine, but like if he like falls over and anything that gets him excited, then it makes him throw up.
Uzi Knesset says yeah that bad boy been tested a bunch of times. Already took 2 shorts in front of it.
Oh, really? Interesting. I had not noticed how quickly it came back.
Vlad Stolyarov says NQ at VWAP.
Okay.
Vlad Stolyarov says 10,808. Uzi Knesset says I was nervous to go for a third, so I'm just letting it do its thing. Uzi Knesset says nervous asterisk.
So this divide is pretty wide.
Vlad Stolyarov says look at AMD lol 3% up.
Really? It's just seeing all these individual stocks having like 3, 5, 10% moves every day is just like really crazy to me. Especially Tesla. How can Tesla still be moving like 5 to 10% a day? Okay, NQ's hitting some highs.
Vlad Stolyarov says I think in bear market individual stocks run better.
That's true. I mean, it is individual stocks. But it's just like, it's not just like, like Apple. Apple has moved like a 5-10% one of these days, didn't it? You know, it's like, it's super crazy.
Live Action says I am out.
Hmm.
Vlad Stolyarov says slightly smiling face.
Reasonable amounts trading over here in the 10-year. 21.5. E-mini is still pretty whippy here in this pullback. Next
Vlad
kind
Stolyarov says if gold sells off 1911 under that will be funny.
Well, they're sure getting pummeled over there in gold, that's for sure.
Live Action says to close to VPOC overhead confused why your VPOC underneath.
And we got that open as
Vlad
kind of the next
Stolyarov
big
says
spot I
means
see.
all those retail who believed in inflation with Bitcoin and gold is gonna sell.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin sold a little bit over the weekend. Well, this morning, I guess. A little bit. I'm a little concerned about Bitcoin if it falls. Like if they touch 10K again that time, I'm not so sure that the bulls will have as strong of hands as they did last time. They're going to panic at some point. Okay. Testing that last pivot. I want to get above 55. Just kissing it. Okay. Okay. So they got it. So now they can go for the open. You know, the funny thing is that there's like been the reflation trade. Okay. But here's a question for you. Why are we down so much this morning? Well, it was Europe was what drove us lower, right? So are we now going to see the opposite trade that we've been seeing, where the money moves out of Europe and comes
Vlad
back into
Stolyarov
the
says
US?
yay.
Comes back into the US. So then you get that would really screw up a lot of trades that people have been making. Like it could still be positive, but it would be like a completely different environment. I think it would be really confusing for a lot of people. Oh man, when they go up.
Live action says with amount of volume on this reversal usually represents low of day. Vlad Stolyarov says AAPL wins the race up.
When I come back here and look at it, it was significant amount at the bottom. What? Okay. I don't know if this is relevant to the overall index, but I guess China says that they're not going to approve the TikTok.
Vlad Stolyarov says
deal.
10,780s to hold NQ. Vlad Stolyarov says 3,253 struggle S.
Yeah. Ouch. Damn.
Vlad Stolyarov says I will collect the dead raccoons later.
Were people really going short over the TikTok thing? Because that's not, I don't think that's particularly.
Ace Trades says trying to go short on NQ. Ace Trades says it's like playing with a cobra.
I think that they were going short off of that piece of news. Oh, they're going to get blown apart here.
Vlad Stolyarov says 10,836 plus
What?
a stops if shorting here.
What? If they bust 56, this is going to be hilarious if they bust 56 there.
Vlad
You
Stolyarov
gotta
says
be
I
kidding
think
me.
it's too volatile.
That is crazy. Interesting. They came back
Ace
that
Trades says got a
quickly.
short order in at 10,802.75.
Think they can do it? Yeah, it's still kind of. They're still kind of slowing down. Come on. Just a little bit more, my friend. Just a little bit more. Yes. I am so lucky right now. I don't know how to put that one. I can't believe that they didn't stop me out. How can I get that lucky? Well, that
Vlad
said, that was a
Stolyarov
bit of
says
a stop run.
volatility
They're pulling
helped.
back again. That was a little bit of a stop run, and they're pulling back again. And they haven't quite touched the open yet. That's still kind of a key point to see what happens there. If they were to get above the open, realize that is a lot of short interest in the futures that would get just pummeled. So, let's see. Now I'm gonna come back down here again really quickly. It's top of the hour now.
Ace Trades says long S 3,255.25.
Okay.
Vlad Stolyarov says yeah maybe it picks direction now.
Can you imagine if we get to the open and the regular session highs and start seeing stops? This could be amazing.
Vlad Stolyarov says ideally for bulls 3,267 will get reached.
Yep. I have it at 63. There's 60. Well, there's 63 and there's 68. It's kind of two spots I'm watching here.
Ace Trades says S stopped out.
Vlad
Stolyarov says
choppy right here
63
for
a
sure.
high volume point.
Is 63 a high volume point too now? I guess maybe from overnight.
Vlad Stolyarov says now they can break it under 40 and we back to bear market.
Right. Well, let's see what they do.
Ace Trades says S short 3,251.
I can't handle the stress anymore. They want me so bad.
Vlad Stolyarov says slightly smiling face.
So mad. I should have just taken it at 60. I was thinking about it's always like when I have that thought. Maybe that's just because I always think about that.
Ace Trades says my NQ trade is money. Vlad Stolyarov says tick extreme again.
That's some insistent bears there.
Ace Trades says holy cow. There is my 10 points S.
Wow.
Vlad Stolyarov says I think bears want to break down.
Well, this is going to be really hard now. Especially if they break another new low, then this could really start careening out of control.
Vlad Stolyarov says I am not bullish until it gets resolved.
Yeah. Well, there's some volume there. Now, when I look at the volume up there and everything, that kind of looks to me like market makers short covering on the way up, but not the larger players getting involved. It looks like the larger players stayed short. Okay, so they made it a little bit of a new low and pulled back pretty quickly. So, man, can't the guy catch a break here? It's just so fast.
Vlad Stolyarov says just martingale and go long 3,233 if they break low. Vlad Stolyarov says it never fails on demo.
Right.
Vlad Stolyarov says now 13%. Vlad Stolyarov says Roku up 10%.
I think that the real trade here is short, but that it's too volatile to take it now. We had the perfect opportunity when we could have taken profits and held that short, and now it's never going to give you.
Vlad Stolyarov says it's too oversold for me to short.
Yeah. So I need to start.
Vlad Stolyarov says I should have had intuition to short Sunday. Vlad Stolyarov says look at 33 was daily high volume point. RJ Wheel says holy shit, somebody take the keyboard away.
What? You mean the mouse?
Vlad Stolyarov says let's martingale long.
Well,
Vlad Stolyarov says how bad can it get?
well, they touched their first VIX target. Well, actually, they kissed it. A little fuzzy, depending on how you calculate it.
RJ Wheel says figure it out. Look at the chat.
Oh, you're talking about
Vlad Stolyarov says UVXY only up 10%.
It's just been nobody else has been saying
Luis
anything.
Alarid says nice sell on crude. RJ Wheel says it's the audio Seth. I blocked the kid but then I have to listen to it.
Okay, well, let's turn it off for a second. Okay. What about, where was it? 43? Coming into that moving average again. It's okay. You should just tell Vlad. I'm sure that he will, he's a reasonable guy. I guess they don't want to hear about individual stocks quite as much, Vlad. Zero Hedge tweets Trump to make Supreme Court nomination Friday or Saturday. So I'm hearing that in oil, Libya is not reducing their production, and they're exempt from the rules, and that might be why oil is taking a hit today. Which is kind of interesting considering all the stuff that the Saudi oil minister was saying, like what, Thursday or Friday last week? I had never seen anything quite like that. I was like, what is this guy is crazy. You say that? You can say that sort of stuff? You can say that sort of stuff to the market? It's like a world leader bullying the futures market. Okay, tech volatility less erratic, at least on a relative basis, says the market year. Oh, Iger says that he stopped out overnight but scratched it, and he's trying a new long here. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I don't know, guys. This is starting to look like really random to me. Hmm. So there's a real the amount of delta that we've got short here is a real problem for both directions. So it seems like they just keep pushing the longs around here. Wow, it's only 8:15. Wow. Okay, he's clicking it. 29, huh? Huh. Damn it. It moved on me. Man. What is going on? This is really wild price action, isn't it, guys? It's hard to trail positions. It's hard to do anything in this environment, man. I'm frustrated the way that it's moving. At some point, a significant pullback is really likely, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. Why not short? Well, it's a little hard to go short now at this point. I think I keep missing the opportunities to go short, frankly. And some of the shorts, frankly, come out of nowhere. Well, that's interesting. See, what's happening is I'm putting this stop out there, and they're just going and going. I should have been taking my targets on my long, and would be a different story. As long as the shorts don't have their thing, I guess they. What am I doing? This is one of those ones where it's like, just you think it's done. They're giving you a reason to question every teeny tiny little thing, aren't they? Well, it's not uncommon to have a reversal in this time period, but I don't know what's going to happen. Feeling pretty frustrated though. Because normally I'm able to keep those losses small, but it's moving so fast when it goes down that it's just not working out, you know? So, we'll see. Why so anxious? I don't know. I just feel stupid, I guess. I've taken like way too many longs and they're still going. Look at that. I had some good longs too. Like I don't. How can I just sell here though? You know. Well, it's okay. The thing that frustrates me is this really looks like it's gonna flip. Like I think it will eventually do it, and I'm just gonna miss it. See, like that right there looks like it's flipping. I hate this market. Math is the key. No, it's not. But and you know the other thing is I don't really see drivers at the moment, like news drivers, to be causing it to be moving like this. I don't know. I guess there's some technical drivers, like especially them losing the 50-day moving average and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's enough of that. They're not gonna stop. <sighs> They apparently. See, now I'll take it and they'll flip it. I'm gonna get water. Like they are so. I am really surprised that they're able to do this. Mm-hmm. Does that to me? No. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Still not enough. Still not enough. Hmm. Three minutes to 8:30. Another thing that I'm finding really confusing is that all of the big orders are moving on the bid, not the offer. So that's unusual. No. Well, so the problem is that we're kind of in a situation where what I do is not showing very well. So like when more people are coming in short here, we could try going for the downside here at 3,200. But watch, if I take a short down here, it's so your risk reward is so poor. And look at the absorption of the contracts there. See, it's really hard to catch something. Whereas on the long side, they've probably got to come at least back up to 37. Makes sense. So let me put it this way. Why not? Just because it's been doing something doesn't mean that it's going to continue to do it. The tick will help in not being late. I really don't think that the tick is worth shit, to be honest with you. We back tested it. We used it. I don't think it's worth shit. What's going on here? Nope. Another thing I'm finding really frustrating is that I'm taking random spots and it's reacting to my random spots. Okay, that's a little better. Where did I put the water? Oh my gosh. To put it a different way, I think that this short-term trading is being a lot more monumental right now than it normally would be. And so it pushes up oh my gosh. Hold on. What? How? I must be a little behind here. Because what the hell is that? I really hate this. I really hate this market right now. Hmm. Hmm. So I'm wondering if there's something wrong with my data feed there, but I think we're okay. Well, so the thing is I would have expected a pretty big good pullback at 32, and it just kept going, right? Now we're getting some really significant absorption at 24. Hmm. 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 Interesting. How it goes that way. Well, really? I gotta tell you, this is incredibly. That is just such a heavy offer. It really is unusual. Something else. So you're not really seeing stops at the lows, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, that would look a little bit better. No, they throw you just a little bit of a bone. See, I don't think that we don't really have any edge in this situation because I can't really explain where it's going. where the specific prices that it's trading and stuff, it seems really, really unusual to me. Jeez. Hmm. Well, I think at this point normally you would have a pullback, but if they're not going to have a pullback, I guess they could go to 3205. I don't know. I don't think I've seen it. I guess I have seen it been like this before, but not since I've been watching my cost basis indicator. And I'm just really wilded out by how far below it's going. I mean, we know that it can do that, but it's just like there must be some really hard long-term sellers selling here. You can see NQ trying to stop out, but see, look, it's not. It's like impossible to get something to go down. It's going, but it's so slow. And they come back up for air, and then you're going to get stopped out. See that? Jeez. What the hell? Okay, well, that's probably the more excessive bounce that I was talking about, but who cares? You'll go long that many times, eventually you're going to catch it, right? Well, I still see 37 above us, but I'm pretty disappointed in myself today. Mm-mm-mm. Two really strong blue candles, though. The book finally flipped. That I should have paid more attention to that. Nope. Maybe. I would just focus on strong stuff. Had high hopes for this week. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking now that this market has turned into something that we can't really trade. What the hell? Hmm. Oh wow. Oh wow. Hmm. Let's see if they do it again down here. I don't know. I mean, if they can't bounce here, then shit's pretty serious, right? But I'm seeing some things that are telling me that we're getting a reversal of some sort. Uh, who knows? A lot of this just feels, I don't know, random to me, you know? Which happens when we're really selling hard, right? It's just discouraging. I don't like it when Apple does this when their VWAP pullback. Oh, okay. I don't know. It's one of them days, I guess. Like it knows somehow where you're in at. Bitcoin's still available? Well, Bitcoin's not doing so hot today either. They haven't broken 10K, but what is Powell going to talk? I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't when I heard that he was speaking 3 times this week. I was like, what? I think if the concern is coronavirus cases, then he's going to have to talk them up again at some point. Hmm. Well, that looked positive. Wow, I really bungled a bunch of things today, guys. Was bound to happen. Not sure why I played it the way I did. I shouldn't have been playing on a Monday like this. Of course, they stop it out. Well, they're doing something. I mean, I can see the algo's doing something, right? Hmm. No conviction do we have, Seth? Yeah, Monday, yeah. Hmm. Now, maybe they finally got something now. Look at that. Feel like I'm calming down a little bit, but look at that. some mild volume at 30. Ooh, they're going to push him. Yeah. So Rhythmic seems to be having a hard time keeping up with the E-mini right now. I don't know what the deal is. Seth, do you like to trade 1 minute or 5 minute? People want to know. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, sometimes markets slow people in for boom, sharp sells is just rinse and repeat. So I'm asked slam liquidity, new paradigm. We've definitely crossed the Rubicon. Something's definitely happened. I'm kind of wondering though, like, what their limit is, you know? Because it definitely feels like, I don't know what it feels like, dude. I like, I'll have a thought and then I'll stop and I'll be like, I don't really know that. Like, I think that these are all just thoughts brought on by emotions and not anything real. The only thing that I see that's real is that we dropped a good 15 points below the stop out. That's insane. That's like some real long-term players came in and sold here. And at some point, they're going to have to rebalance because the market makers are too one-sided. And whatever was the sell program looks like it's gone. So I really should have been looking at that and said, nah, we're going to wait. They could have avoided a lot of grief. But it's just the way that it's trading right now is just like a little insane, don't you think? Well, Rhythmic being all wonky and helping. Oh, Igor is still going long here. Well. Yeah, I could do anything. Again, the thing we got to remember is that, like, when it starts to get like this, you just start to have a lot of really random behavior, right? Look at this.
Gary Rich says when VIX or implied vols are high, never ever expect it's just not going to happen. That thinking is the lull.
I'm going to turn off the text-to-speech, okay? Because it's so delayed. I don't know what the deal is. You know, it's interesting that the bonds really haven't moved all that much today. How is it the E-mini is coming down like this and the bonds aren't moving? I find the bonds the most interesting thing. See, Igor is short bonds. I it makes sense to me just because it's like, why didn't they go? Where is the P&L on this sim trading? I don't have it up. I'm having a problem. It's bad. Let's just say that it's bad. Was like, I'm having a problem with that window too. So. We'll see. Lots of people watching. That must mean I'm doing bad today, right? That's the way it goes. Baby sounds unhappy. That's how I feel inside right now. Matt said it is this thing on. The thing that makes me so mad is I had 2 really great long trades and I wasn't able to capitalize on them. Like, I even thought, well, if they come back maybe halfway, maybe I'll take it off. But then it came all the way back and I had to take the stop. If you're watching and don't hit that like and subscribe, you will lose the next 3 things. No. We don't want them to watch right now. Last week was the week we wanted them to watch. Now that's over. Don't watch anymore. I don't know. There's something a little fishy about that sell. It was different. Oh, Ace wants to go long 33? Anthony, why didn't you take the profit? Because it didn't go to my spots where my targets were. That happens. That can happen though. It can come just short. Yeah. Oh, you already took it? Well, I've given up on the bonds. Huge size will come in and not move a tick, only to have huge size come in on the other side, not moving a tick all while the ES flip 20 handles. Yeah, because I think that market making in treasuries right now just doesn't really make much sense live action because it all has to do with money flows right now. And how can you predict that? It's 100% random as far as we're concerned. If there's not actual fundamentals to move it, and notice that they really haven't moved all that much today, despite the E-mini just having a total rout. I guess it's actually only 40 points down. I guess that the size of this is not like the end of the world, but I'm still like, I don't know. All the V and W recovery is laughable. It's more like a square root with a gay bend slant downward the next 3 months. I read they expect the bonds to be anemic for a long time while I've replaced it with the euro. I mean, I still want to watch the complex and everything, but I don't think that scalping bonds makes sense right now. There is liquidity over there, but when it chooses to move, doesn't tend to make a whole lot of sense to me. This is moving back up. Huh. Wouldn't it be something if they made a full recovery and then pushed the highs? That would be wild. And possible, frankly, with some of the delta divergences that I'm seeing here. I suspect, though, that the guys that went short off of the open probably not going to give up. So, like, it's kind of slowing down here. Here seems like one spot that we could potentially take it off, rather. But I find it's better to let them run, you know? I would be okay if it wasn't like, just careening out of control. I think it's just a little bit too fast for my strategy to work. So if we had taken small ones and profit, like we could have made it work today, but I was just not with it at all. And we could have been going short too at points. I don't know. It sure did look oversold though. We'll see if they pop back up or not. I kind of thought about adding another contract when I was like for sure that we had had it, but I don't feel comfortable doing it right here. Yeah. Actually, looking at my 5-minute chart here, even if I had taken this short, I would be really frustrated right now. So I think that the VIX has just risen a little bit too much. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-year to get 1% or 1.5% from a macro viewpoint. 10 years in a very pinned range. I find it hard for the 10-ye Yeah, but I was just like from a 5 minute standpoint, like how would you know it's going to go anywhere? Because the liquidity doesn't hold it. Yeah, it's just like look at here in the 10-year bottom middle chart. You know, went almost nowhere, and now it's come back so quickly. And I wasn't watching it too closely, so who's to say that it give you any warning or not? AC did well today. I'm so frustrated. It's not that I haven't caught the good trades, it's that I haven't been able to take the profits the way that I want. Hmm. Martingale doesn't feel. Stop it. It's not funny. Other people might be watching Vlad, and they might think that Martingale is a good strategy. Makes sense to be positive on the day. I don't know if it makes sense to end the day like the regular session above the regular session open. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Hmm. Hmm. I just can't catch a break, man. Done. Done. Try not to fight that I could have, should have when it runs. The way is to think I could have lost that amount as well. Yeah, well. The thing that I'm frustrated about the most is that my runners aren't giving me exits. And then the whole thing comes back and I get nothing from it. Think they'll go to the lows again. Gotta love this crap, right? Yeah. And it's really frustrating when it's like you feel like you've had edge for the longest time, and then all of a sudden it's just completely leaves you. I think it's a retest support way of lows. That they're kind of doing the flippy thing again. It's mostly because of bag holders buying dips and then panicking again, like me. Hmm. Given where it turned and where it is and everything, I really have no idea if they're able to go to the lows again or not. It seems a little crazy to me. I am getting those super negative prints again. But then it flipped back. I think I should probably pull out here and damn it. It's so slow. I'm so fucking slow, man. This is so fucking annoying. Like, there has been one trade today doing? I'm a disaster. What the fuck? You get in the fucking second, the exact second that I do it, and it turns. There was nothing special in my mind about that spot. And it has done that almost every trade. One trade where it didn't give me a little bit. I have no edge. This is ridiculous. What the fuck am I doing? How is it doing that? Or how am I getting it so bad? Watch this. Okay. Totally random. You see? Do you see? Can't even go 5 ticks my way. It should be random. It's not. Nah, it's okay. We'll just keep YOLOing on a sim account until something happens. Tesla did crazy stuff. Oh, they could I don't want to hear about Tesla. Never seen you frustrated losing money. Yeah, time to go live, I guess. I just I'm just so frustrated because it was doing so well, and I've tried and tried, and it's just been like, look at that. Am I going to have a hard time even getting filled there? Damn it. Okay. Kudlow's on TV, apparently. Why? I guess I wasn't fast enough. I think I'm just slow. I'm like way behind the curve here, guys. Why? Why? I can't. I'm just look. Fuck this. What the hell? One tick. Did you see it? One tick. Oh look. Oh look. We cleared all of today's losses. No, wait, no, don't go back. Go back up. Go ahead. Stop me out. Go do it. Okay. So you see that. One tick. Can't even get one tick. My entry was that poor. Okay, well, maybe maybe I'll go do a live one now without you guys. When I said the title said don't watch, I knew I had to watch. Slowly find a walk away from the screen. So this is Sims, so you can tell I'm putting on like 15 contracts, right? I just want to know what it is because I'm trying to place it in a random spot. Like I straight up, I've been trying to place it in a random spot, and it keeps going against me almost immediately. How is that possible? What is it that I'm doing that's making that happen? How can it be that bad? Like, it's really, honestly, think about it, guys. I might need to let me try and reopen this. I don't know why Jigsaw's having a problem over here with this. But okay, look at how many trades. Wait, yeah. Look at how many trades I had where I literally had almost no favorable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And some of them were shorts. And it didn't even go a tick in my favor. That is not random. How is that possible? How? I don't understand. It's a Monday. I don't know, dude. Like, even if it was just random, no. And I'm placing them in random spots. And it's no. Like, the only way that that's possible is if it's taking something from my orders. Stops of the day, traders are the liquidity for the big boys on average. Probably. It's not random, it's clearly manipulated. It seems like it's manipulated somehow. It seems like it's taking mine. Oops. Wrong way. There. So I'm going to put it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So it gave me a little bit at first, and then it came back to my entry, and now it's chilling there again. And it's fighting it. You see this? Like, I couldn't have been more random about that entry. Well, now it does it. Didn't mean that. Take that with a 5. But see what I mean? It's pretty crazy. One more quick one before we go. Hey. Okay, well, you know what? I will take this off somewhere, but I gotta get going. I have to morning meeting and everything, so I suck at trading today. Happens, I guess. I will catch you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable.